I'm Alex Altman and I attended the trumpet ensemble last week. I've decided that I should probably make my videos a little less long-winded, so I'm going to work on making this one a little bit shorter. But yes, I attended the trumpet ensemble. It was a great experience. Some notes that I have from that are just little small things. So the trumpet, as we know, is the soprano instrument of the brass family. Although in this ensemble case, sorry, there's some super loud cars passing me here, but let me gather my thoughts. It's the soprano voice of the brass family. In this ensemble, though, there was a lot of ranges of that voice, so like the piccolo trumpet being the higher ranges, higher registers, and then the bass trumpet being the lower registers, all those in between. Each were used. There were a couple songs in this performance, really I think only two, maybe one or two, where there was a trumpet quartet that performed, and I thought that was really neat, where it just had 4 different ranges and they all kind of worked together. The conductor even hopped in and helped out on some of them, and it was a very loud venture, but that just comes with trumpets and the brass family, and just really the mechanics of playing them as well. I realized that it's more difficult to make the trumpet a bit of a lighter piano sound compared to a forte, just because even when you think of trumpets, you think of just like patriotic nationalism type loud sounds, and just like trumpets blaring, but still being beautiful sounds. So it's difficult to make those lighter, more gentle sounds, and that shows a lot of control. So the first piece that was performed, we were told was actually a fanfare, and we learned that fanfares are the more, as I said, patriotic type songs, the ones that you would hear maybe at games, like sporting events maybe, what you may hear in like movies. A big thing about this first piece is it reminded me of Interstellar, is what I said, and so it was just kind of like, it was a lot of staccato melodies over legato melodies, yet it was still pretty homophonic. Neither of them were just kind of 2 different voices, they worked together to create one voice. It was, as I said, more of a forte night, so this one was also, I would say, even mezzo forte, but comparing to other trumpet noises, it's a normal trumpet sound, but compared to other instruments, it would be on the forte side. There was a lot of resonance and dissonance in this song as well, and whenever you heard the dissonance, it was almost ringing, and then once the resonance, just like once it came back together, it was so smooth. But the ringing, I feel like, was important to be there. When you hear dissonance, it has a meaning, it has a purpose, and the ringing is just bringing in that emphasis of that sound. There was also a lot of imitation, a lot of call and response in this first song, just like back and forth going on. A lot of times it was the same thing being said back, bringing back the homophony. And there were also many single note crescendos. So it was one note just going and being just long-winded, coming with long-winded. The conductor did tell us that the reason that he spoke so much and taught us so much, I was glad he did it, in between each piece, was due to the fact that playing the trumpet is not an easy feat. With that, the second song was the trumpet quartet. We were told that the composer was of the Renaissance era, so we know this music is of the Renaissance era, and it was kind of like a mix of all of those different registers that I was talking about. The big thing about it that I realized is a lot of imitation, again, homophony, however you'd like to say it. The first, the higher register trumpet, I'm guessing piccolo trumpet, played a melody, and then each register kind of joined in, each trumpet player joined in, repeating the same melody over and over again. So the third song is where I realized how the stage was almost set up, and I've realized this in the past concerts I've gone to, but the higher register instruments were on the left side, the lower register were on the right side, the middle was, more in the middle, leaning towards higher or lower. And this song was another fanfare. It's bringing in the new century, Y2K, all of this, so it was very ecstatic, triumphant, looking forward, excited for what is to come. And it reminded me of more movie music, so I guess fanfares really are, to me, just kind of like movie music. Just like super loud, excited, emphasizing music. And with that, the song is obviously, I feel like, gonna be forte. I would say mezzo forte, but I felt very impacted by the sound I was hearing, so I would say forte for the most part, especially at the beginning. And it was definitely in the key major. When I think of the major key, I think of anything confident. I really just throw in the major key, and fanfares, I feel like, do that as well. The last two songs that were performed were both transcriptions, which I learned. I'm a biology major, so I know transcription to be almost a copy, but it's not a complete copy of the template before, of the parent template. There are going to be some features that are switched, some features that are taken out, replaced, all of this, all to the liking of what protein you want to create. And so that was useful to have those two words related. These were both transcriptions, meaning that they both were kind of compiled and arranged either by someone ahead of time, someone else that they're borrowing. Actually, the last one I'm pretty sure was arranged by a senior there, a senior who is graduating soon. So that was cool. I recognized many of the sounds of the melodies. The second one was such a big mix of staccato versus legato. Once again, a lot of forte. When there was piano sides of sounds, like mezzo piano, very mezzo. When there were those sounds, it was quickly replaced by just those forte or covered up almost. But the cool thing about trumpets is when you hear these more gentle noises, you're gonna kind of pay attention to these, and then once the loudness, the forte comes back in, it just kind of revamps you and brings you back into the headspace. But yeah, the second transcription had a lot of staccato imitation on one side over some legato imitation. Then it would go from staccato to legato, switch around, legato to staccato. There were a lot of different things going on, all the different melodies that I remembered. It was nice to hear things that I was familiar with, especially at the end, because it just kind of brought it all together, almost family-like. And yeah, I really enjoyed this concert. I'm excited for the next one I will attend.